Hi everybody, welcome back to part 2. Look, I know that, Telecasters are some people's absolute obsessions, and I have to say, in my time I've built quite a few, but, they're a great guitar, but I don't really understand why people get so tied up with them, really. They're nice things to have. This is an Olympic white one. I mean, they're lovely guitars, but, there are other guitars. You can obviously move on and do a lot with them, but there's no reason to become obsessed with them in my view. They are a very functional guitar. They're actually quite basic, quite slabby, but they're lovely to play. But there are other guitars in the universe, and there's no reason why we can't sort of experiment with other shapes and move ahead with more progressive designs. As guitar makers, we should be really forcing the boundaries and trying to find something which is, breaks with the norm, expresses our own individuality. But the Telecaster, is really something that we ought to get past, I think. There's no reason why building a Telecaster should be everybody's starting point for guitars. But, we're on that path, so let's get on with part 2. Hi, welcome to my kitchen. I'm just going to make some position dots using Fimo, which is an oven hardening clay. Mix it together, shove it into some holes. I've got a piece of brass here that I had left over from another project, and then all I do is I force some of this clay into these holes, flatten them off, put them in the oven and bake them, and then push them out. Bang, dots. Once you're ready, just pop it in the oven for half an hour at 110. That's Celsius.
30 minutes, starting now.
Wow, that's hot. Just got to let that cool now, and then once they're cool, just push it out with a chopstick or a pen or something. So that's the end of Cooking with Chris for today, so it's back to the workshop. Welcome back to the workshop, and I've got my dots, and my dots are ready to go. I've got my neck. Take a 6mm drill and just make these holes, which are a little bit under 6mm, because I know that these clay dots are 6mm. What was there in the neck initially, I don't know, but I'm just making them 6mm. So backwards gentle and then forwards gentle. And you don't really want to make the holes any deeper, you just want to mill them out to 6mm. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but just around about here, a little bit of the rosewood fretboard is chipped out just around the edge of the last fret, where it's really, really thin side to the dot circle, just right next to the fret. So it's popped out. So all we're going to do is find a little chip, and we'll just super glue it back together. Okay, I think that's probably, yeah, that's wet enough. There's a little chip here. I can push that in. There we go. We can worry about the fret slot later. There we go. Just pile them in there. Any little bits of dust and chippings I can find, I'm just going to push it on there. Those of you that watch my harmony build will know that this is what I made the bridge from. I'm going to sand this and just get some dust off of it, and I'm going to use that dust to fill up some of the other little divots and things in the fretboard. This sort of thing happens. It'll happen to you, it'll happen to me many more times, I'm sure. It's just one of those things we have to deal with. It's kind of fun, actually. There we go. So I think that's the holes filled. Leave that for 30 seconds. You could use the accelerator on this, but I find that tends to make it go a little bit white and foamy. I've actually got a short 10-inch radiusing block, which I'm just going to use for this bit. I don't need the full length beam for this. That is so absolutely typical of the sort of fixes that we end up doing as luthiers. is somebody might want vintage dots put on their wonderful pride and joy, and this is the sort of damage that can happen. In fact, filling divots in the fretboard are all done in that way. Just get some dust or some particles and poke them into the holes with some super glue and sand them off with the correct radius, of course. So I now have to restore that fret slot because that piece of paper that I put in there to stop it all spreading out and filling the slot with super glue won't come out, so I have to recut the slot. I've got this wonderful fret slotting saw which will only go to the correct depth and not beyond, so this is perfect. Let's put some dots in. Okay, little drop of super glue in the hole. I'm going to have to go macro on this. There we go, tiny bit of glue in there. Now I don't want to tap it in so it's too deep, because I don't want to have to take any depth off the fingerboard. So that is number one. So there we go, all done, all dotted up, all looking good. So the next step is obviously to put the neck on the body. Perfect, we're done. But we're not. We've got to get this absolutely dead straight. We've got to get that down the centre line of the body. Some time ago I had these made. They're literally just a bit of perspex, laser cut and a line etched down the middle so that I can see where the absolute centre is. It's really useful for lining up the neck because I can see the centre of the position dots through the perspex, and all I then need to do is to line that up with the centre line on the body, and I know that this is straight and that when I put the strings on I'm not going to get any surprises, and the bridge position can be fixed. But the only problem with something like this is that it's perspex, so it isn't absolutely rigid. I mean, it's pretty good for straightness, to be honest, and it will get you extremely close, I think. But I don't think it's the absolute answer. I think the real answer is a laser. This is my laser. It's just a standard sort of builder's laser level for doing brickwork and what have you. Extremely cheap. I just clamp it in my one device, turn it on, put the body and the neck in line and tweak them around until they're absolutely right, and then clamp that up. Once it's clamped up, I can drill the body and drill the neck with absolute confidence that it's going to be dead straight. And then I pop it back on the table and see if it still maintains that straightness. Getting the neck straight and aligned to the body of the guitar is absolutely critical. I can't recommend this method highly enough. It really feels like we're finished. I mean, all we need is a lick of paint and some hardware on here and we've got a guitar. There are a lot more things to do. There are a lot of things we can do to make this into the guitar that we love and want. We can adjust this part of the neck here so it's more comfortable. We've got to decide how much roll off on here. We've got to decide on the hardware we're going to put on it. We've also got to put some frets in. We've got to refit that nut. There's a multitude of things to do. Assembling your hardware, just putting the pickup in the bridge, putting in the bridge saddles that you may have decided to put in, if they're not the standard ones that came with it. It all seems very, very straightforward, but the thing is, if you buy saddles from one place, a pickup from another place, and a bridge from another, the chances of them lining up, and also the holes it fits with being correct, are actually quite slim. I had to re-drill every hole in this because nothing lined up. Everything was the wrong size. It's not as straightforward as it might just seem. Another thing that didn't work straight out of the box was the scratch plate that I ordered had the wrong radius here, so I had to sand it down with sandpaper, blocks, a scraper, just to get it the right radius. It wasn't difficult, didn't take that long, but it's just another thing that you're probably going to encounter. The other thing that I should point out is don't drill any holes for this pickup. because if you're going for the real Fender vintage look, these pickups were screwed into the body. They didn't have mounting screws, so don't drill those holes. I've done that before and gone, oh, I've looked at a picture afterwards and realised my mistake. Whilst I'm building, I quite often do what's called a balance together. It cheers me up, it makes me feel I'm doing the right thing, but it also guides me as to where I'm going to drill and where I'm going to put these things. It's remarkable how much variation and how much movement you've got here. You can move the bridge backwards and forwards by, you know, half a centimetre. You can swing the bridge, and then you can line up the angles here. You want this to be straight, you want this plate to be parallel with the bridge. All of these things you're going to have to deal with at some later date, and it's good to get to grips with them now. There's a multitude of things to do, but I think that's where we should leave it today. Just walk around with it in our hands in the house and just get comfortable with it and absolutely set this in our minds as what we want, because changing it once it's finished is a pretty depressing option because the finish has to come off. So let's leave it here for today, and we'll pick it up in part 3. Join me. Part 2 done. Part 3 will be coming soon. No doubt we'll be getting into some fretting, we'll be getting into some finishing. But I'd just like to say thank you for everyone who subscribed. Thank you for watching, thank you for your comments, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Keep building.